Hey, everybody. Are we live? Just making sure it's working here. How's everyone doing this evening? Somehow the viewers are going down, not up. Oh, they're going back up. This technology stuff never ceases to puzzle me. Let me just make sure it's going here. Hey guys, so on my home feed, I wasn't seeing um, I wasn't seeing the comments, so I opened up a new window. So I'm actually watching the YouTube video of myself, so I can read the comments and see you guys. So thanks so much. So this is in partnership with the Jazz Cruise tonight, and of course I want to thank all the Emmet Cohen exclusive members for being here as well. And I'm gonna just play some music and have a nice little time. And I think the static is only for the microphone, just so you know. So when I go like that, it should go away. So I will say before I start, I taught two lessons today, and I don't know if my students are out there watching today or this evening, but they they both wanted to work on How High the Moon. So it's been in my head all day long, and when something's in your head, there's only one way to get it out, and it's to play it. Thank you very much. How high the moon? Let me just make sure it's working. Okay. Glad it is. You know, it's I had a few comments when I first started doing this that, like, you know, you're getting drawn into the screen, and that happens all around us in every aspect of our life. There's, you know, TVs in restaurants distracting us. There are phones in our pockets that we take out and we distract ourselves from everything. And so having this device on the computer kind of is this giant screen drawing you in distraction. And so I've been trying to just silence it while I play. But I do need to check in after the first tune just to make sure everything's working. Thanks, Brian Ang. We worked on that song all day today, so I needed to get it out of my head. Anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching tonight. It's a really cool thing that we're able to do this, and we're able to connect in this way. So maybe I'll take a few requests and see if I can see in the chat box, but I'm going to play a little bit first. This tune I'm going to play is 1930, Cole Porter. And the funny thing, I have a funny relationship with this tune. Actually, when I was first in the American Pianists Association competition, which was almost 10 years ago, 10 years ago now. This was 2011, maybe 2010. I can't remember. Anyway, I was performing in the finals, and they had to guest Dee Dee Bridgewater, and I was so young, I didn't know anything, and Dee Dee Bridgewater was like, "Who's this little youngster?" And she came and sat next to me on the piano bench and sung this song and touched my hair and messed with my ears, and she was like getting real freaky with it, and I was like, that's pretty soulful. That tune is Love for Sale. Thanks a lot. Cole Porter's Love for Sale. How's everyone doing out here? So when I'm looking this way, that means I'm looking at what you're saying. Hey, so yeah, someone asked about this picture that came. So I got a package about an hour before we started just now. So I'm making dinner over in the kitchen, which is right behind the camera. Some of you that have tuned in the daytime know that if you look this way, it's the kitchen. If you look this way, it's the living room, and that's the whole apartment, basically. Welcome in. And I got a package from my dear friend Deborah Campbell, and she sent me this cool photo from Life magazine. Maybe she already said something about it since somebody asked. But anyway, it has a lot of my heroes in it. I see Jimmy Heath looking at me in the front. And I didn't really have time to look through it, but it's like 150 jazz musicians, so I'm going to put that on my wall. Hey, Dan Chicharron. It's been a long time. Thanks for your membership. Means a lot. Yeah, anyway, so all the jazz musicians, it's a spiritual thing when you have like pictures of the ancestors on the walls. And so that's a really cool thing. And a lot of people on in that photo are still living, and who I see post on Facebook every day, and who are around and who I speak with. So it's a cool link between the old and the new. So my friend Janine is out there. She asked me for some Sondheim tonight, but I gotta say I don't really play any yet. But I'm gonna play your old request, which is some Johnny Mandel. And I will say I do that little fake out thing where I'm getting ready to play and I'm like, I have something else to say. And this is a beautiful tune. I'm going to start with, I'll see where it goes, but I'll start with a beautiful tune he wrote. This is called Where Do You Start? How do you separate the present from the past? My favorite version of this is probably Shirley Horn. She does it so slow. Hey, thank you. That was a little bit of a Johnny Mandel medley there. And it's so interesting doing the medleys by myself, um, just because it allows for like the ultimate freedom. I mean, I get to be pretty free with the band, and I'm only telling you this because many of you are watching me also do trio stuff on Mondays, and so the difference and the freedom between the two is that you have to have everyone on board before you make a choice, or you have to make a choice that's easy for everyone to see where it is that you're trying to go when you're with your band or with a trio. You know, the less people, the easier it is to just flow and ebb. But with the trio, I'm really free. But solo, I really can go anywhere I want. You know, I don't have to say, oh, does Russell know this tune, or is this the right tempo, or is this the right groove? You just have the ultimate freedom to just go right in and change and play and develop and take it to some places. So let me see what's happening on here. How you guys doing tonight? Got some nice requests here. So the name of those songs were "Where Do You Start," and the second one was "A Time for Love," and the third one was "Shadow of Your Smile." Just so you all know. And you hear someone else's smoke alarm going on in this building here. Actually, it's crazy. So on Monday we played, and you know, I feel like we had another kind of energy than we've had. Kyle was stomping on the bass drums and the hi-hat, and it was even so much that I looked back at the thing and it was moving the video up and down, which was kind of crazy. And we actually got the cops called on us. So that was interesting. The first time 2 police officers ever knocked on my door. And it was a little bit scary. They said, you know, we've had a noise complaint here, sir. And I said, oh, my God, really? I'm so sorry. Well, we're done for the evening. And he's like, yeah, you know, I know everyone's at home, but you really have to be respectful. And I said, yeah, you know, we just some musicians playing in here. You see this piano over there. And I said, well, we hope we don't have to get called again. I said, well, we're done for the evening. He said, well, okay, well, we hope we don't have to visit you again. I said, well, we're done for the evening. And that was kind of how we left it. So I said, maybe I'll see you next week. So that's my little story about the neighbors. That wasn't the same neighbor whose light got knocked out from downstairs. But anyway, New York City is how it's always been. Everybody right on top of each other. The music spreads, the other things spread. But it's an inspiring place to be. Nevertheless, there's always something going on. There's always some people playing music in the streets. There's always some people having a barbecue. Duke Ellington wrote a song called Harlem Airshaft, and we always use that song. And when we do the Jazz for Young Peoples for Jazz at Lincoln Center, we go in and we talk about the melding of the different cultures and how you can smell everyone's food coming up through the Harlem Airshaft. And, you know, I actually live on the same block as Duke Ellington. Not the same block, but the same avenue. So he lived at 555 Edgecombe Avenue. I'm a couple blocks down. But it's kind of a magical thing where you can be in the spirits and be amongst the Duke Ellington band, the Count Basie band, the Sonny Rollins, the Langston Hughes, Mary Lou Williams lived right up the street. Billie Holiday stayed here occasionally. So it's a historical neighborhood to be doing this, to be playing, to be having the cops come, and we feel the plight of our ancestors. It's wine and steaks on Rob Watson. Oh my God, Eric Cantor, you want to hear some Beatles? You won't leave me alone about the Beatles. All right, here it goes, Eric. This is a riff. This is just for you. All right. was one from back in the day. The Beatles. Hey Jim, that photo actually isn't a great day in Harlem, but it's a reenactment that a photographer did for Life magazine that came to my house today, courtesy of someone who's watching on this very feed. And I wanted to put it on display so the spirits could be watching over us. But it's called The Real Big Band. Cool. I'm going to play original composition right now. I played it a couple of weeks ago with the trio on a Monday. I know it's a lot of music for everyone to keep up with, but I really do appreciate you tuning in and being a part of our musical sphere, especially the solo stuff. And I can't tell you how much it means that many of you, most of you here are Emmet Cohen exclusive members. And what that does is it just allows us to do what we do comfortably. It allows us to buy microphones and sound equipment and video gear and figure out how to have the best streaming sound possible. It allows us to take time and rehearse as a trio. It allows time to not have to fill weeks with lessons and work on music and learn repertoire and take requests and stuff like that. So it's a real blessing, and I really appreciate it. I know my band appreciates it, and everyone in my sphere. So, and we got some test pressings for the vinyl records in the mail. So everyone who's a member gets a vinyl record, for those of you who don't know, of Dirty in Detroit. And so I got some test pressings in the mail. People have been asking me how the progress is, and everything is obviously slowed due to Corona. But they sent me the tests, so we're going to put them in the record player later on and see if all the tracks are in order, see if the balance left to right is correct, and all this other kind of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that, and the album artwork will look cool, real big. And for those of you who don't have a record player, it'll be a nice piece of art on the shelf or a collectible item. Or a coaster or something. I guess everything has more than one use, right? So this is particularly intimate for me just because I cooked some stew over there and it's still going on the stove, and then I come over here and I'm playing a concert. I've been practicing all day. I've been just in a space of not motion. And it's very strange because I'm always in motion. My whole life just goes and goes and goes. And something that I realized, something that somebody said to me, was that, you could just keep going and going and going the rest of your life, and turn around one day and you're an old man, and you wonder where all the time is gone. And he said, it might be a good idea to take it easy and to reflect. And then this happens to the universe, and I have not been home for 2 months at a time, probably since I moved to New York almost 8 years ago, which is crazy to think. And it's been really a time of reflection. It's been a time of deep practicing. It's learning songs, learning repertoire, rehearsing with the trio, learning to cook for the first time, reading more than I ever have in recent memory, everything from novels to science to autobiographies of musicians. One of my good buddies, he's a piano player, his name is Rossano Sportielli, and he sent me Willie Lyon Smith's autobiography, and I'm in love with Willie Lyon Smith. And so I have checked it out before, but it was cool to get it and came to the house, and it's a real amazing thing to connect with the musicians by reading their music, by reading their bios, then playing their music, and you're kind of getting it from both sides. And it brings this deeper kind of spirituality to the music, at least for me. Everybody does a different approach to, or everybody finds a different approach to how they like to connect with the spiritual aspect of the music, but that's one way that I've really found that I work and that my community works too. So it really fits into this thing where I have all these musicians who think the same way that I do. So I'm going to say that I'm going to play a little bit of Willie Lyon Smith, just a short thing called Echoes of Spring, and then I'm going to take that into an original composition of mine, which is called In a Dream. which is also something that I've been focusing on more lately. When you don't have to get up and get on an airplane at 6 a.m. after you've gone to bed at 3 a.m., you start to have more dreams and can get in touch with your mind a little bit. And so that song's a little bit about some experiences I had in a dream. But first, the Willie. Smith, Echoes of Spring. Thanks a lot. That's called In a Dream. And it's actually funny. People ask me if I'm recording that. And I just got these master takes back from the Village Vanguard in January. So I was playing with Ron Carter, and the Village Vanguard is kind of like the Carnegie Hall of jazz, for those of you who are Emmet Cohen fans but not jazz New York knowledgeable people. The Village Vanguard, I don't want to insult anyone by explaining this, but the Village Vanguard is like the Carnegie kind of hall of jazz musicians. It's kind of the place where, you know, you could be a jazz musician in New York your whole life and never get a chance to play there, not even be able to get let in free there. And so I approached the after I played there with Christian McBride the first time a couple of years ago, I approached the guy who runs it, and I said, you know, it'd be really cool. I have these projects with the Jazz Masters. For those of you who don't know, I do a series with the Jazz Masters. There's 4 volumes so far. One is first one is with Jimmy Cobb. The second one is with Ron Carter. The third one is with Benny Golson and Tootie Heath. And the fourth one is with George Coleman. And as soon as this thing's over, I've told Houston Person we got to get into the studio and do volume 5. And he said, all right, man, I'll be there. I know all you Jazz Cruise people are excited about that because Houston is the man. We talk on the phone quite frequently, and he's, wishes everyone well. And so I said, you know, I got this project with the Masters. Are you interested? He said, you know, Ron Carter had a falling out with Lorraine, who used to run this place. And he hasn't played here in 25 years. And I said, well, you know, why don't I ask him if he'll come in? He said, if you can do that, you got the gig. So I, of course, asked Mr. Carter invited me to his house for Christmas. And he has some people come through on Christmas. And I said, okay, this is the time I'm going to ask him on Christmas because he can't say no on Christmas, right? And so I said, hey, Mr. Carter, Merry Christmas, blah, blah, blah. I got asked, you know, if we would take our project. We made a beautiful record. They heard it. Would you be willing to play at the Village Vanguard? He said, okay. You know, for you, I'll do it. And so it ended up being his great return to the Village Vanguard, and we played in 2019, and then we did it again in 2020. And we recorded the weekend, so we recorded 3 nights of it, and I just got some of the takes back, and it's really a magical thing to hear, which will probably be coming out a year from September, just because I'm a little backdated with records and stuff. But it's a cool thing, and for all the Emmet Cohen exclusive members, once we get it mixed and stuff, I'll probably put a few tracks in there as a preview. So if you're not a member yet, you can go over to the website and check it out. It's very easy to find. You can email me. If I didn't get to anyone's requests tonight, you can email them to me, and I do quite a few of these things, every other week almost. And I don't plan on stopping once this is over. You know, whenever I'm home, it'll be great to be able to connect, or if I'm able to put a setup up somewhere wherever we are. It'll be a cool thing to stay in touch, and I think it's part of the future of the music, and it's part of the future of staying in touch, and part of the future of reaching the people that really care. Even though there's no replacement for being on the jazz cruise and being trapped with somebody for 7 days and hearing a million sets in different ways. So, I'm sure everyone heard the Blue Note cruise got canceled next year. So we're just praying that everything's cool with the regular one. But if not, we'll take a year off and be back there. But I'm so glad to do this concert in partnership tonight with the cruise. And it's been 10 years of me going on that boat and hanging around with Houston Person, checking out his dance parties, like Kaylee just wrote on the post, and hanging out with some of my mentors, Benny Green, late at night till 4:00 in the morning. Getting to hang around the drums while Kenny Washington and Lewis Nash and Carl Allen and Jeff Hamilton all talk about ride cymbals while the young drummers watch. It's an amazing thing. So, I dedicate this to all you out there watching from that crew, and thank you all for being such nice supporters, such wonderful people in this time, keeping my spirits up. I know, there's some parts in the day where I kind of get down and I'm like, oh man, like this is never going to end. I got a call from Howard Stone yesterday morning saying that there's no Vail Jazz Party this year. I don't know if I'm supposed to announce that yet, but it really hit me hard. And I said, wow, this thing is going all the way into September. And I got really depressed and really down about it. And I just, realized that everything's got to run its course and things are going to be the way they're going to be. And if we have to do something online, then we have to do something online. And if we have to wait a few more months till it's safe, then we'll do that. If I have to fly around to each of your cities and play a concert for 30 people sitting 6 feet apart, we'll do that too. We'll make it work. And that's what jazz is all about. It's adapting. It's finding common ground. It's really just being able to accept whatever the given scenario is and come out knowing that we'll be okay. And that's the meaning of the blues. So I'm going to play one more for you. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if anyone wants to say anything, you can send me an email right to my email address, or you can write on my website or whatever. I'll get back to you. And it warms my heart that we can stay in touch and that we are able to have this community, because it's something that a lot of people don't have, especially in this time. And so I saw some requests for tunes and stuff on there. I don't know everything, believe it or not, but by my 30th birthday on May 25th, I assure you I'll know everything. At least I think my heroes knew everything by 30. Charlie Parker only made it to 36, and he innovated the whole sphere of modern jazz and bebop and all that. But, we all got to go at our own pace. We can't all be Bird, and he had his demons too. I'm just riffing now. Let's see. I miss my dear friend Veronica, and I wish I could get her on something like this. Everyone asked me to get Veronica Swift to come in, but there's no way to actually play in real time together. So the video that we did posted on the internet was just we laid it down, and she sang over it. So I think that after I'm done with this, I'm going to record her a song and see if she'll sing over it, and we can listen to a little Veronica too, since I'm all set up for recording and everything. So I've been inspired by this to send her a little something. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I love you. And yeah, take it from there. There will be more. Stay in touch. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you so much. It does really mean the world to me. looking at the screen. That little Richard for you right at the end. That's for you, Tom. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. So, Ellen, if you missed it, I'm going to put this in the archive on the website. So there's a members access place where you can watch the show, and I'll place that in there, and you can just type in the password and watch it if you're a member. So I'll do that probably tomorrow morning. But if you want to see it right now, you could probably rewind this video right here. So that those of you who missed it. Sorry for the time difference. If I played any later, I'd get the cops called on me here. Oh, wait, I already do get the cops called on me now here. Anyway, I appreciate all you guys. Thank you to the Jazz Cruise for being a presenting partner tonight. And we made it a little special thing for some of their special people, too. And I'm so thrilled that you took the time to be with me this evening. For those of you who don't know, I don't know how you could not know, but I play on Monday nights here, and Kyle Poole and Russell Hall walk about 70 feet from their apartments and bring their instruments, and we play here, and we have a communion. And next week is Russell's birthday, and the week after that's my birthday. It's crazy how they both fall on Mondays. But you know, whenever there's an occasion or something, we always bring a little something special, and the energy comes to us in a different way. So I just want to thank you all for being just who you are. That's it. All my favorite jazz musicians are like, I want to thank you for being who you are, because that's all we can do. So I'm being who I am. I'm playing what I like to play, trying to learn a little bit through these weeks and through these days. Working on this little James P. Johnson for the whole 2 months now, so I'll be busting that out in a little while. But thank you guys. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Sarah and Leslie and Emily and Carl and everyone from the cruise. And I see you, Gary Stager, out there. Michael Schooler, thank you. Thanks to Lazaroff, wherever you are. I wonder if he's watching. Thanks, Sheila. Yeah, I'm so glad you liked the Johnny O'Neill. And, you know, I'll get some of that stuff in the next couple of concerts. So I know we got some of my favorite things and stuff. Maybe I'll put that with the trio one of these weeks and see how it goes. But it's really inspiring. It's keeping me going and exploring and learning and trying to just get new stuff together for all these gigs. Usually we play gigs and we play, you know, some sort of the same music from city to city to city, and it really develops. But now everyone has heard it, so we can only play, you know, a couple of repeats here and there, but we try to keep it fresh. So I appreciate you. I love you. Stay in touch. And I'm playing a couple more times this week, actually. Something for the St. Cecilia Music Center tomorrow night. And then also something for Blue Note on Friday with my dear friend Benny Benak. So if you're a member, then you'll get an email about it. If you want to just know about it, you can message me and I'll give you fine details, or you can just rewind this and listen to what I said and look on Facebook for those two places. Anyway, thank you, and I'll see you soon. And take care. Have a nice week, and do something that's good for your soul. Oh, wait, you already did. So now do something that's not so good for your soul, like eat a tub of ice cream. Maybe that's good for your soul. I don't know. All right, I'm going crazy here in my apartment. But thank you. Much love, and yeah, stay